like, sure, anyone can tell stories. I've told a lot of those stories at a party here and there, but it's a different thing to try to craft it into a piece of theater, right? A piece that has images and imagery that will resonate beyond just the story. And I want to connect on a level that is more than just on a comic level, but in a way that is more, touches on universal themes of loss and failure and loss of innocence, some of the more common themes. So when I approach a story, I try to write it out as best as I can, in as much detail as I possibly can, and that's just the first time. And then as I'm working on it, as I read it again, no, this would be better if I wrote it like this. So it is never a finished item. I am constantly revising and updating and making the story hopefully more efficient, more sublime, and funnier all along the way. But it's not, like, I didn't take any classes or anything. Like, I just decided to start telling stories, right? And I've been quiet. My show is, I don't talk in my show. All the bits that you saw that were the clowning bits, those are the things that I've been doing for 29 years. Yeah, when I act, I talk, but I'm saying somebody else's words. So it was literally like, I want to start doing mosaics too, because coming here just inspires me. Like, I see this public art and I need to think outside the box. My house needs repairs. Let's think outside the box here. Let's make this be something interesting instead of just the same as the stucco next to me, right? Like, how can I make that, right? So when I started telling stories, it was the same thing. It was like, well, I don't know how to do this, but how do I start? What do I do? And I literally did not know. So I just started, when I would go in front of people for the first time, sometimes I would read it, sometimes I would write it and then try to memorize it, and then sometimes I would just tell it off the top of my head. And over a period of time, I just sort of developed a system that worked for me, right? But every single person has a story. My friend Mike told me a story out there, great story about a very funny moment where he rushed himself to the hospital for what turns out to be nothing, but at the moment was terribly disconcerting to him at the time. But like, everybody has a story, and we need to feel free to tell those stories. And it doesn't matter if you're a performer or not. Some of the best stories that I've heard are not from performers. They're from just regular people who have something really rich and really important to say. So if there would be one thing that I would hope that I would leave with here, as I take a spark of public art with me to Chicago, is that you can do stories here and have a storytelling night where people come up and talk for 5 minutes. You give them a 5-minute or 7-minute time limit and say, we're going to tell stories, and everybody has a story. And it's such a beautiful community event, because it's always encouraging and it's always accepting, and everyone gets to tell whatever they want to tell that means something. And the power of these stories connects us, and it teaches us compassion.